Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ato Mongson, and it is my pleasure, privilege, and honor to be your host for this historic event in the life of Exquadra Tower. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, it's a big, big day. It's a very special day because today is the day when Exquadra Tower will formally be joining the ranks of some of the world's most renowned, most iconic, environment-friendly buildings, such as the Bank of America Tower in New York, the Asia Square in Singapore, and Taipei 101 as a LEED Platinum certified building. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, again, welcome to the virtual celebration of Exquadra Towers receiving of this very special recognition. All right, friends, in just a bit, throughout the next 45 minutes or to an hour or so, we will be learning more about Exquadra Tower. We will be hearing some words from some of the representatives of Exquadra Tower. We will also be listening to some people instrumental for Exquadra Tower to receive this recognition. And we will also be hearing some words from the governing body that gave this recognition to Exquadra Tower. But before anything else, friends, let's get to know a little bit more about exactly what LEED is. So everybody, let's now take a look at this.
LEED, or Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, is a green building certification program that recognizes best-in-class building strategies and practices across the globe. LEED promotes better buildings, places that complement our environment and enhance our communities, places that give people better, brighter, healthier spaces to live, work, and play. To receive LEED certification, projects pursue credits that earn points. Prerequisites and credits differ for each rating system. Teams choose the rating system that best fits their project. After the team completes the review process, the project is awarded a certification level based on the number of points earned. So, if you're serious about saving money, conserving energy, making better building material choices, and driving innovation, then LEED is the best choice for you. Ready to learn more? Visit usgbc.org/LEED.
All right, everybody, so there you have it. So we have just heard a little bit more about what LEED is and how big of a recognition it is. So clearly, this is a very big day, not just for Exquadra Tower, but for the city of Pasig as well, because this is the first LEED Platinum certified building in the city of Pasig. It is the 6th LEED Platinum certified building in the country, so we can say that it is a big thing, a big deal for the country as well. All right, so friends, you know, of course, we would like to share with you a little bit more about the background, about the building, and why it was considered as one of the country's LEED Platinum certified buildings. As you have just seen in the earlier video, the LEED certification comes in different levels, and Exquadra Tower automatically jumped to the topmost recognition. So right now, we would like to call on one of the people instrumental in helping Exquadra Tower reach and attain this recognition as a green building. So ladies and gentlemen, friends, we would like to call on the screen Mr. Dean Barone of Barone International. Hello, Dean. Good morning, Dean. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
It's a big day, isn't it?
It's a very important day.
It's a very important day. It's an exciting day. And actually, for the benefit of the people watching online, can you please share with us where you are joining us from right now?
I'm joining you from Houston, Texas. I'm actually I'm Thursday.
All right, so
You're a day ahead of me.
you're joining us from Houston, Texas. How is it in Houston, Texas right now? How is the weather over there right now?
Just like home in Manila, it's hot and sticky.
Hot and sticky. That's exactly how it is right here as well. All right, so Dean, you know, I think that you have a lot of things to share with our online viewers. You know, actually, first, I would like to congratulate you as well. As I have mentioned earlier, your efforts were instrumental for Exquadra Tower to attain this recognition to be a LEED Platinum certified building. So, so without further ado, Dean, we'd like to hand over the screen to you. All yours, Dean.
Thank you. Thank you. First, let me say it's a team effort. There's a lot of people that we will be thanking this morning for the project. And so we appreciate the opportunity to work on this. But whenever I start to talk about green buildings, I always have to take a step backwards and talk about the climate crisis and why green buildings can be part of the solution to help us with the climate. So I'm going to review with you just a little bit of a background of why this project is so important. We all know about the 1.5 degrees Celsius that we need to hold our global temperature to. The reason for that is to cut emissions by 2030 by at least 45% globally and switch to renewables and switch to buildings that are net zero and buildings that are really super efficient. We need to do that because we're currently spewing 162 million tons of greenhouse gases every day into our atmosphere. Yeah. Obviously, with all that Dean? Greenhouse gas.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes. Sorry to cut you over there. We're seeing a white screen. Again? Yeah, I think we just have to fix up this, the settings, just so everybody can have a better view of your presentation.
Well, let me see if I can get this thing fixed. My apologies. How is that?
Nope. Still a white screen?
Still white screen. Oh no. One more try.
Yeah, let's do what we did earlier.
Full screen.
Yes.
There you go.
That help?
That's perfect.
That helped. All right. Well, the first few slides were just pretty much what I had said, and in catching up, what this slide is representing is how much greenhouse gases we have burned from fossil fuels just in the last 50 years. Because of the warming of the planet, we're seeing global temperatures breaking records every year. Since 2002, 19 of the hottest years recorded have occurred, and the hottest of all have been in the last 7 years. Annual temperatures, as you probably feel, have been going up also in the Philippines. Heat index, we're now breaking records with when you combine temperature and humidity together, we're now getting into very dangerous territory. And so the mean temperature in the Philippines is already increasing, and it will continue to increase as the planet warms. Fortunately or unfortunately, most of the greenhouse gases that are the heat that we're creating is going into the ocean, which is helping us temporarily, but it's unfortunately helping to warm the oceans to record temperatures, which also creates problems for the Philippines because it's creating hotspots where the ocean is extra warm, which is feeding into storms and typhoons. And we know what happened with Super Typhoon Yolanda, which is currently the strongest typhoon ever recorded worldwide. Just last year, another super typhoon hit the Philippines. Again, these are supposed to occur about every 25 years. They're happening very frequently. And then earlier this year, Super Typhoon Bizing was the strongest and earliest storm to ever hit the Philippines in the month of April. And so when you look back to 2010 to the storms that were in the eastern part of the Pacific, or the western part of the Pacific, you'll notice a stark increase as the ocean temperatures continue to warm. And warmer air holds more water vapor. And there's already 5% more vapor than there was years ago, which is causing huge floods. 400% increase in downpours by the end of the century. Interestingly enough, as moisture is being drawn out of the ocean into the atmosphere, it's also being drawn out of the land, creating droughts. So we have this situation for the first time where we have droughts and floods in the same regions. And since 2015, 40% of the Philippines has been experiencing severe droughts. And hotter years create more fires. And in the Philippines is no different. The fire, there's more fires occurring each year. And from the fires and from the burning of fossil fuels, the air quality in the Philippines is not exactly the best. 45,000 people a year die from the pollution in the Philippines. And unfortunately, pregnant women exposed to this pollution give birth to children with high blood pressure. And so, talking about the warming, talking about the polar and Greenland ice caps melting faster than was originally planned. And so, projected sea level rise will definitely impact metropolitan Manila, and is projected to come in faster because of the warmer climate, the warmer water. So, it's projected that at least 13 million people could have to relocate before the middle of the century. So all the different reasons, there's lots of stuff that causes greenhouse gases, from burning of fossil fuel and forest fires and agriculture and transportation. But I'm going to focus on probably the most important element of climate change, and that's buildings. And so when you look at a life cycle of a building, from how the materials are extracted to made, to how a building is constructed, how it's operated, and then how it's when it's done, globally, that's 60% of emissions. That's a huge percentage that we can control through the buildings that we build, design, and operate. And when you look at an office building, basically 80% of that goes into air conditioning and lighting. And so the US EPA says that an average building wastes 30% of the energy it consumes. If you improve that just by 10%, globally, it's like taking 30 million vehicles off the road every year in carbon savings. So green buildings can be part of the solution. They reduce carbon, they reduce water, they reduce the waste that's created during the construction process. And also, green buildings are very healthy. Because we spend 90% of our floors, they can provide better lighting, better air quality, which increases productivity, less sick time. And so with COVID, how does that impact with climate change? Well, they both have a global impact, but healthy buildings provide the resiliency to both address these pandemics and the climate crisis. So, Exquadra, some fun facts. The greenhouse gas emissions, 25 million metric tons, are reduced every year by the efficiencies of the equipment that were installed. That's like planting over 500,000 trees or taking 2,000 cars off the road. Savings wise, the building is saving 145 million pesos per year in energy savings compared to the building probably sitting right next door. And the reason that that can be achieved so well is through all these wonderful features. Joni will talk about the air conditioning system, the double glazed walls, LED lighting. Many efficient programs, many efficient technologies have been introduced to the building. One of the things that we were very excited about, at the beginning of the project, we looked at a typical VRF system, and we looked at the energy savings, and that was compared to a water-cooled savings using the magnetic levitation system, 50% energy savings. That's what contributed so much to this project's energy savings and efficiency. In addition to that, we look at water savings just by using low flow plumbing fixtures and rainwater harvesting and native plants. 6 Olympic-sized pools, the water equivalent every year, is saved by the fixtures in the building. The building also was able to restore 50% of the site. LEED requires 30%, the building exceeded that. Also, for open space, the building tripled the amount of open space, exceeding the LEED requirements. And for rainwater in the neighborhood, 85% of the storm water that falls on the property is collected, and before it's discharged, 90% of the contaminants are removed. So that water is clean when it leaves the site. For construction materials, again, it beat the minimum requirements for recycled content and for materials that were actually harvested and manufactured in the Philippines. Construction waste that was diverted from landfills, 81%. And no VOCs. The paints, the sealants, adhesives either had very low or no VOC, which is very good to keep the building healthy for the occupants. Indoor air quality, using a fresh air filtration system, a dual stage system. There's also 30% more fresh air coming in the building than ASHRAE standards calls for. And also the building is meeting the ASHRAE standards for thermal comfort, controlling both temperature and humidity. And then all the other little healthy features, I'll just name a couple of them. Just a simple walk-off mats at the entrance, which collect pollutants before they're brought into the building. 100% daylight for all the occupants, and views from every aspect of the building. And the building is deployed in an international green cleaning program. So Exquadra is helping to reverse the global climate change. It's enhancing human health. It's protecting the water resources, also enhancing biodiversity and ecosystems. It's reducing waste that's going to landfills. It's promoting sustainability in the community, and it's demonstrating leadership and that how green buildings can really be of value. And then other opportunities is that right now there's enough wind supply to provide electricity 40 times over globally. So wind is a solution, so is solar, because enough energy from the sun reaches our planet every year to fill a full year of energy, or every hour to fill a full year of energy. And so in 2015, every nation in the world agreed to the Paris Agreement to cut greenhouse gas emissions by basically 50% or to in some cases, zero greenhouse gases by 2050. And the Philippines has also participated in that and has announced a whopping 75% reduction in greenhouse gas. That's the burning of coal, burning of fuels, transportation. In order to get there, we need projects like Exquadra, which really demonstrate leadership in delivering both health to the people, protection of the planet, and a good community steward. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dean. Now I understand why, aside from your designation as director of Barone International, your other title is climate leader. Now I understand why. So, Dean, thank you for sharing with us those little bits of trivia about the current state of our planet. I guess it's very clear from your presentation that we really need more green buildings, just like Exquadra Tower. All right,
That's
so
correct.
yeah. So, Dean, I suppose this is something that requires the participation and effort of every individual, not just in the Philippines, but around the world.
Correct. It starts particularly with buildings, with the design team, the architect, the engineers, the owner who has the vision, and pulling that together with the suppliers and the contractors. It's definitely a team effort. Nobody can deliver a green building by themselves. It does take a very dedicated team to do that. And we're very pleased to be part of a very, very good team to be able to deliver this platinum project.
I suppose aside from the vision, people need to develop that care and concern. Don't you agree? That care and concern to
I believe
initiate.
it's there. The care and concern is there. People want to do something. And in our profession as architects, designers, and green building consultants and contractors, we know that we can make a difference in what we design and what we operate.
Well, you are indeed making a difference, and we're here to support you, and we hope that you continue to help other builders develop green buildings that can eventually lead to a LEED certification in the near future. Congratulations again, Dean, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. So everybody, we have just heard some words from Mr. Dean Barone, again, the director and climate leader of Barone International. Again, he and his team are instrumental for Exquadra Tower to receive this recognition. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, at this point in the program, we would now like to call on a representative from Exquadra Tower to share with us more bits of trivia about the building. We're going to ask her questions. We're going to ask her to describe to us the different features of the building from the outside in. So right now, we would like to call on Exquadra Towers Marketing and Leasing Manager. Everybody join me in welcoming Joni Mitchell.
Good morning.
Hello, Joni.
Adam,
Good
it's great
morning.
to have you here. I hope you're enjoying our 800 square meter and 6-meter high lobby. We're just in a small portion of it, but welcome. And
Yeah.
we're very happy to have you here to share this event with us. And
Thank you for having
for
us.
hosting it for us as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us. And yes, we are indeed enjoying this large studio.
Yes,
We have
it
converted
is.
your lobby into a makeshift studio today.
It's actually just a small portion of it because it's actually quite nice and big. It allows a lot of natural light coming into the space. And it's very airy, which is something we've taken pride in the design of.
It is beautiful indeed. As you can see, everybody, we're actually here at a small portion of this 800 square meter lobby of Exquadra Towers. So let's get right to it. Before anything else, Joni, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you on behalf of the owners as well. Thank you for saying that. We're very excited to do this announcement today. The owners are very proud of what they've done, and us as employees, we're even prouder because we get to enjoy this building every day.
This is a big thing. It's a big deal.
Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big advocate for green buildings, and I've always want more landlords to do green buildings, and I think now is more evident than ever, especially we're going through these trying times. So we have some features in here that I will talk about a little bit more later that has actually been just in time. So the nice haves, which a lot of people, that's nice have, has now become must haves. So
We'll know more about those things a little bit later
I will
on.
talk a bit more about that later on. But in the meantime, I just wanted to share a small message.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you, Joni, what was the inspiration of the owners of Exquadra Tower in creating a green building, and not just any green building, but a green building that has just been given a LEED Platinum certification? So, what inspired them to create Exquadra Tower?
I want to read it because I don't want to lose the essence of the message that it came out. But Unioil celebrated its 50th anniversary about 5 years ago, and this is where it really started. And the message was, on the 50th anniversary 5 years ago, the company decided that despite its significant efforts in protecting the environment, it needed to do more, and much more than that. That's why Unioil formed its first property development company called Exquadra Inc., which is what manages and owns this building. And today, it goes beyond dreaming. Exquadra Tower is now, as we're celebrating today, it's a LEED Platinum certified building, which is what we were aiming for because we always want to give back and do more. And we're just happy that it's in the heart of Pasig, in the CBD. And the most exciting part about it all is we're just getting started. This is one of many buildings to come, and we're always going to be innovating and pushing the envelope in every project that we do.
Wow, so I guess we can say we have exciting times ahead.
Well, if you're going to build a building, there's always been something that I've been hearing over and over again working here, is that we have to innovate. Okay, we can't just say, oh, these are the standards. We have to push the standards. We have to set the bar higher in everything that we do.
That's correct. I totally agree with that. So, Joni, now let's share with our online viewers a little bit more about the building. So, why don't we start off from the outside in? Can you share with us a little bit about the physical structure of the building?
You mean the unique shape of our building?
Yeah, it looks like something from the future. It looks like it's a ship that's about to take off.
It's a little bit more simpler than that. Actually, if you look at our building, considering the background of the company, it's actually designed after an oil drop. An oil drop. Yeah, so that was the inspiration behind that, because if you go into various parts of the building, even though we don't have the company name on the building, you will see little things that remind you of the headquarters of the company. Unioil is on the top floor of the building, but we're Exquadra Tower, and it's basically to be more. We want to be innovative, so we had to move and change. So the company is a different name only because of that. But yes.
So now I get it. That explains the shape of the building.
Yes.
People, if you find yourselves in Ortiga CBD, the building is it's distinct. It's so easy to recognize, and you don't even need to put the name, because if you see the building, you know exactly what it is.
You get an idea of where you are already. We're actually located at 1J Drive, Ortiga Center in Pasig, and a lot of people don't quite know where we are. Our easiest landmark is we're right across the street from Tectite.
Yeah, that's so easy to remember. All right, now let's go inside the building. Let's start off with the lobby. It's amazing. Can you share with us a little bit about the design inside the lobby?
We went with mostly natural finishes because that's part of being LEED. So we have a lot of marble, we have some wood finishes. If it's not that, other surfaces are stainless steel. We've made sure that it can sustain wear and tear in the long run because that's all part about being LEED. for interiors. So we did that. We've made sure that people who are in the building can have good traffic controls. We have more than enough elevators in the building. We have 16 elevators for 8 in each zone. We're an 18-story building.
Touchless, right?
Touchless, yes. I have to say we are touchless. You basically can come through the main entrance, walk to our turnstiles. You don't even have to touch your card. You just have to hover it over it, and you'll be given your designated elevator, and that brings you up in a buttonless elevator as well. So yes, it's appropriate for the times that we're going through right now, being sanitation being a big factor at the moment. And then once you get up to a floor, our typical floor plates are about 2,000 square meters. We can subdivide floors up to 8 units. So we can do anything from 200 plus square meters to 2,000 square meters on a floor, which makes it very flexible. So we have the standards in the building, which is 100% backup power. We have all the leading telcos in the building. We are mobile data ready because we've actually 5G. Yes, we are 5G ready, and it's not just 5G within the common areas. We're also 5G within each unit on a floor. So each unit has its own picocell to take care of that. So we're very happy to give that as well to our tenants. And some other features that we have, the two features that I think we're very proud of considering the times is our chilled water system, chilled water air conditioning system that runs mentioned by Dean, which is actually using magnetic levitation technology, which is very unique to the building and also unique to the Philippines. For a standalone, we have a very efficient system, which means it runs at a very effective cost. So we're very competitive in that area. And we also have a standalone fresh air exchange in the building, which is very in need of in this time.
I wanted to ask you about that, the fresh air exchange, because if I'm not mistaken, as what you had mentioned, the elevators are touchless,
Yep.
perfect for what we're going through right now.
We were ready. We didn't know, but we were ready.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you. So, people constructing a building, of course, they have a lot of nice to haves, but I think that there are some nice to haves that just recently Dole had made a must have. So, but these are things that you have already had. So
We
can you
had
share
a
with
lot
us
of
those
nice
things?
to haves, and that they've become must haves. In fact, it's you can't do without them now. So one of those things is our fresh air exchange, which I was about to mention to you. We already had dual filtration, MERV 8 and MERV 13 filters on every floor. So we have 2 makeup air units to handle that. At the same time, it's also pre-cooled, so it's not fighting against the air conditioning system. So that's not wasted energy there again. So those are 2 features that we're very proud of in this building, apart from others that I will talk about later.
All right. So, Joni, this is a huge recognition, and I'm sure the people watching online are curious to know more about the other special features of the building. So, if someone were to ask you, aside from the air filter system, the air conditioning system, what are the other special features of the building that have earned the building this LEED Platinum certification?
Well, LEED Platinum comes from, Dean covered a lot of that, but how does it help a tenant is what I would more like to talk about.
Okay.
So, being double pane glass building, which is a prerequisite of LEED, and the way that it's designed, it allows for 100% natural light into the spaces. So that means less, artificial lighting needed at the same time. People can open their blinds. What we've done as well is we've also found ways to reduce the foot traffic within the building, of unnecessary foot traffic. So we're actually providing our tenants with free drinking water. So that's filtered and that's available on every floor. So that's something that's new as well. And we've also...
Yeah, because I think in other buildings, people have to install their own water filters in their own offices, but here it's already built in.
It's built in, and it also reduces having delivery traffic going through the building, which in a time like this has been necessary to reduce unnecessary people in the building.
Now, tell us about the deliveries. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken.
We actually have what's called smart parcel. So your commercial courier services and also online shoppers, they don't have to go down and receive their packages, or they don't go. The couriers do not go up to the offices. We actually have a smart parcel cabinet where the couriers will place the item and they will register it in, and then our tenants will receive a text message with an unlocking code, and they go down and pick it up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's
Convenient.
different, yeah.
Convenient, safe.
And these were all in before pandemic happened.
Even before the pandemic.
Even before the pandemic happened.
Oh wow! So you were really prepared.
We were, future-proof.
I know that you're future-proof,
Yes.
but with of course, I'm sure you didn't expect to be this much of
We-
a future-proof building.
We did it. The owners had the mindset that they wanted to put in features that were not offered by other buildings, and they were, as I said, they were nice to haves, but they're very much appreciated by our tenants now, and people who come to see the building are very impressed.
Yeah, you go up the parking driveway, the parking ramp, and there's green. There are plants all over.
Yes, we also believe that's why we were able to have a lot more green areas, and these are things that they were featured, were put into the design stage, to make sure that we hit all the marks on in areas. Because with LEED, you have to hit all categories. You can't just like excel in one and not have any points in one. You have to gain points in all categories, and wherever we could add more or push the envelope more, even if we even already hit the points, but we could do a little bit extra, we would go for it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's so innovative. All right, so Joni, I'm sure that people watching online are interested, but I suppose the best way to fully appreciate the features of the building is to come and to see for themselves.
Definitely. I mean, I've had tenants that have looked at just the virtual tour and they've seen the presentation online, but it's really different when you walk through the building. You get to see the features for yourself. They're real. We were able to turn one client around. They came and saw the building in the morning out of courtesy because we were a bit persistent in asking them to come and see it. They were supposed to sign with another building in the afternoon. Well, they're now with us.
All right, so Joni, is there anything else you would like to add?
We're here Monday through Friday. We're open for inspections, and it's safe. I've been coming to the office since June of last year, and our air exchange system here really has proven itself. In the recent smog and fog that we had over the metro, which was quite nasty, we did not have any issues in the building because our fresh air exchange did its job, and none of us had any stingy eyes, as some people complained about an itchiness in the back of the throat. We had good air quality those couple of days, and we're quite proud of that.
As you should be. All right, Joni, again, congratulations.
Thank
To
you.
you and, of course, to the owners of Exquadra Incorporated.
On behalf of the owners, they are very happy for this to be happening.
All right, so thank you very much, Joni. So we'll be calling on Joni again a little bit later on to receive the plaque and the certification from GBCI, their LEED Platinum certification. That's going to happen in just a bit. So thank you, Joni.
Thank you, Atom.
All right, everybody. So we have just heard some words from Joni Mitchell, the marketing and leasing manager of Exquadra Tower. Now, up next, friends, I'm excited to introduce our next guest, our next speaker. Our next speaker is the person responsible for giving Exquadra Tower this recognition. So we would like to call on the screen GBCI's Managing Director for the Asia Pacific and the Middle East. We would like to call on Mr. Gopal. Hello, Mr. Gopal. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Absolutely fine. I think it's been absolutely inspirational to hear you, Joni, and Dean in the morning. I think this is a great way to possibly head towards the weekend.
And on behalf of Exquadra Tower, we would like to thank you for giving this recognition to Exquadra Tower, and we would like to thank you as well for championing the need for creating green buildings. All right,
Thank you, Atom.
Mr. Gopal, I believe that you have a lot of things to share with our online viewers. So at this point, I would like to give you the floor, or as we say, we'd like to give you the screen. So Mr. Gopal, it's all yours.
Thank you, Atom. First of all, a very good morning to everybody. I hope all are safe and well wherever you are. And Dean, you always been inspirational. I think your presentation today, where you put things in perspective, right from a macro perspective, from a world at large, and how you actually came down to Philippines, very inspirational. And thank you, Dean, for all the wonderful work you're doing, and specifically for the Exquadra Incorporated. And let me again congratulate Atom and Joni. And Joni, you put things in perspective. And when you ended the session by saying, you know, we are all welcome to your office. Please count me in. I think at the first available opportunity, I would love to be there. But I think the way you explained it, I didn't feel the absence of my physical presence in your building. I think the visuals and the way you talked, I think gave us a very quick preview about the wonderful building. I think what you have constructed, designed, and going to make it operational. So kudos to the entire team. So I have a small presentation deck to share with this audience. And so let me start off, with our greetings from U.S. Green Building Council, headquartered in Washington D.C., the organization which owns the brand LEED, LEED. Uh, so we possibly, I think I just heard that Quadra celebrated 50 years 5 years back. So I think we celebrated 25 years 3 years back. I think from that perspective, possibly we are a younger sibling to Exquadra, and I think we will draw inspiration from Exquadra itself. So again, a greetings from GBCI and US GBC. And as I said, LEED is our flagship brand. It's been around for the last 28 years. And I think Dean has covered practically everything about how green buildings and LEED, save on money, and because of the fact that it saves on energy, water, provides you better environment, etc. So again, he again quantified those as well. I'm not going to get into that. I think the interesting thing about LEED is the fact that while it started with the coverage of commercial buildings, but today in every country across the world, you would see LEED adopted by every asset class. So whether it is an industrial manufacturing, a warehouse, an airport, a metro station, a school, a college, place of worship, data centers, you can think of any asset class. Obviously, homes. Now, LEED has actually become a key requirement in all these asset classes. A quick numbers to quote: we work in 178 countries and territories across the world. We work with 100,000 buildings spanning 22 billion square feet. Obviously, Southeast Asia has been one of the key drivers of LEED across the world, and more so Philippines as well. So I think Dean did talk about why Philippines needs to go green, and I think Philippines has responded very well. But I think still a lot of things which Philippines, a country, can do, which I'm going to come to it in a minute. So, all of us, I think, have been impacted by pandemic in one way or the other. So what did we do as an organization? So while LEED continues to focus on how do assets, save on energy, water, waste, carbon footprint, etc., we also redrew our vision. So today, I think post-pandemic, whether it is a employee coming to an office, or a person staying at home, working from home, or whenever we have these lockdowns lifted, our urge to go back to restaurants, retail, our kids to go back to schools and colleges, today green buildings also have to ensure health and well-being. And that's a new vision which we launched last year. uh, so there are three additional pillars which we have added back to LEED. One is health and well-being. So I think Exquadra Incorporated, the owners, the tenants, you can all be rest assured that you're actually looking at a healthy building. That's very important, and it is going to ensure health and well-being of all occupants inside the building. The second part is resiliency. That's an additional pillar which we have launched, and I think Dean spoke about it. And I also heard Johnny Mitchell talking about how the building is already ready, right? So it's all about being proactive. So whether it is touchless, she talked about the centralized couriers online, amazing, right? So those are the aspects of LEED which makes it a resilient building. And the last part is social equity, right? So how do LEED certified buildings not only take care of themselves, but of the community as well? So those are the three new things you're looking at. But let me now look to future. I think Joni spoke about future perfect. So what is my wish list for Exquadra or for Philippines? Now, Exquadra has been certified as LEED at a design stage. Does the journey stop there? Absolutely no. The journey actually starts from here. So we as an organization, we believe that LEED is just not a certification, not a standard. It has to become a way of life. It has to become the way by which business conducts itself responsibly. So what did we do? We embraced digitalization as well. So as you're aware, I think the world at large, I think we have embraced digitalization at in every aspects of our life. Software, technology. 10 years back, the ERP led by SAP, Oracle, Microsoft. Today, the IIoTs are there, which is touching our lives, every minute. So what we did was to also launch LEED on a digital platform. So what does it do? It actually takes data from your building. Let's assume that Quadra Incorporated, the building which you have as LEED Platinum certified at Pasig, gets operational. All the data from the building, energy, water, air quality, which is carbon dioxide, the VOC content, you have the carbon footprint of the people working inside, all can be either automatically or asynchronously fed into this IIoT platform on the cloud, and you can get a live green score of the building, and you can proudly put it up in the wonderful lobby I just saw, so that every employee, when they come in, they can look at the data and say, hey, great, I am in the greenest building in the world, and look at the human experience score, which actually is the last track of this particular platform, and how safe and how healthy it is for me. So the employee gets motivated. He or she goes back to their homes and says, hey, I'm today working in a greenest building, and my employers take care of my health and well-being. So this is a very powerful one, and I would wish Exquadra Incorporated immediately incorporates that in the building. We will work with them along with Dean. Quadra, I'm sure that you're going to be expanding your portfolio in the near future. You're going to have more buildings, more green buildings, and you can look at all the buildings in a screen, understand what are the green scores of the many buildings which are going to be constructed in the future. You can also track your carbon scores using this platform. I think Dean spoke about how Philippines is a country. You have committed to a carbon reduction target. And what better thing than to use data? Use data from a building, and you should inspire buildings across Philippines to track carbon, so that all that can lead to Philippines, getting into the targets even much before 2050. So again, obviously, no conversation today can be complete without talking about the pandemic. So what did we do? So one is, I talked about the fact that we have launched a digital platform. We have also launched something called a safety first pilot credit. Now what does it mean? Any future buildings which are going to be constructed and designed, which is going to come into LEED, can now incorporate safety first pilot credit into it at a design stage. So this is very interesting. And we didn't stop there. The same digital platform which I showed you a minute back, you can also use that to get a pandemic re-entry score, because I think Joni spoke about all the protocols you've actually taken in the building, but you can also measure it now and tell all your tenants and employees, we have actually incorporated COVID protocols, and this is the score which gives you the assurance that we are today ready as a building to welcome you back. And that's called the re-entry score. And does the journey stop there? Absolutely no. So what is the long-term vision for Quadra? I think Exquadra, sorry. people talk about net zero building, and I think Dean mentioned it about as well. With all the climate change we are talking about, it is the responsibility of every building to actually get into net zero, and we are happy to work with Exquadra there. We also request Exquadra to become a USGBC member, which is actually a way by which you are actually deepening your commitment to sustainability as well. I will also leave with you one thought. Now, all the wonderful work you have done, Exquadra, does it have to stay only with your projects team, design team, etc.? Absolutely no. Every employee of Exquadra, every employee who is going to walk into the Exquadra building should know about sustainability. So, what have we done? We have launched something called a basic foundation course on sustainability, which we'll be happy to share with Exquadra and their employees. They can just spend 30 minutes, read it, attempt a quiz, get a certificate, get a badge, put it proudly in the social media, and Exquadra can actually tell that in addition to going LEED Platinum, every employee of my organization today knows about green and sustainability. We will help you there. And this is a journey I talked about for Exquadra. You are today finishing LEED, adopt the digital platform, move to net zero, move to net positive. And why is it important? Because USGBC as an organization, our vision is by 2025, all new buildings coming into LEED should be net zero by design. And by 2050, all existing buildings should become net zero and net positive. So I would request Exquadra to help us there as well. And this is what I picked up, in your website. This is called future ready, future perfect. Amazing. Read everything on the screen. This is exactly what we want LEED buildings to do. And I think Exquadra is ahead of the curve. And again, thank you, Exquadra, for this wonderful vision for the future. And I loved Unioil's communication line. You are driving change. Absolutely. So, again, I think let me pause here a bit, and I think I'll take Dean's line about team effort. LEED is possibly one of the most rigorous sustainability and green bands in the world. It doesn't come easy, right? And for that to be achieved, it calls for supreme team effort. The Exquadra team, the Barron International team led by Dean, and I'm sure the architects, the MEP engineers, the design staff, the all the staff, the external vendors, I think all have come together to make this happen. So, again, we will also be talking to Unioil separately about how even your gas stations can go green, and we have enough examples from the world to talk about that, and that's for a different session. So again, let me congratulate Exquadra for becoming a LEED Platinum certified project. I understand you're the first project to be Platinum at Pasig, the seventh in Philippines, and you will be an inspiration for all the buildings, upcoming buildings, and not only buildings. We are also talking about communities and cities in Philippines to actually go there. I would love to be there physically today. So let me just confess, when I saw the lobby, I actually wanted to fly down immediately. But because of the conditions we are in, I'm handing over this certificate virtually along with the letter signed by our CEO. And with this, I hand it back to Atom.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gopal. And you know what? You would like to be here? You know what? We would love for you to have been here. But at least you're joining us virtually. At least you're here to share these details with us. Now, I think it's generally known that LEED is the most widely used green building rating system in the world and a recognized international symbol of excellence in green buildings. But more than a rating system, you mentioned that it is a way of life. You know what? Personally, I loved how you said it. It is indeed a way of life. So I guess I just have a quick question. How can we inspire? How can we inspire other builders to create a green building that can eventually be a LEED certified building? How can we inspire them?
Good question. I think the point is, I think communication is the key, Atom. I think we should talk about this. We are USGBC and Exquadra and Dean. Three of us should get together, talk about this, to the media in Philippines, in the social media handles. Invite, other developers to visit your building. Let them get inspired. Have have all the architectural students and civil engineering students who are studying in various universities in Philippines to come down to your building. Let them do a tour. Let them get inspired. Let them understand what green buildings are all about. How can green building benefit the generations today and the generations in the future, and let them all be inspired so that they can take it up as part of their mission as well. I just want to quote one last line before I finish, which I'll actually share with you, with the entire team. A recent research showed that the youth across the world, 85% of the youth across the world, they have said they actually want to work with an organization which contributes to green and environment, right? As you're all aware, youth is our future. So I think the easiest thing, Atom, to do is to ensure that the entire youth in Philippines, they get to be aware about Exquadra's achievement. Why did you do it? What does it do to the building, to the city, to the country, and to the world?
All right, that's amazing. So again, yeah, communication, making sure that everybody knows, every builder knows the importance of creating a green building, and it starts with educating them, I suppose. All right, so thank you, Mr. Gopal. Perhaps you can have Mr. Gopal remain on the screen as we now move on to the meat of our program today. So, Mr. Gopal, please do stay with us because you are very much a big part. You know, if you were here, you would be the one who will be standing here to hand over the certificate to Joni on behalf of Exquadra Towers owners. So please stay with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the main part of our celebration, our program today. It's now time for Exquadra Tower to formally receive the certificate, the LEED Platinum certification from GBCI. So with that, we would like to call on Paul and Denise from Barone International, and we'd like to call on Joni Mitchell once again to please join us here in front. Yeah. So everybody, this is the plaque. If you once you walk into Exquadra Tower, you will see this plaque posted on the wall. Yeah.
Actually, we actually have a proper plaque that we can only put up once we got our certificate. So that'll be going up in a week or so.
All right. So next, when you visit Exquadra Tower in a week or so from now, you will see the certificate on the building, a certificate that only LEED Platinum certified buildings will have. So, Denise, would you mind reading the citation on the plaque?
Natam, could you please change the focus to, the lobby?
Hello. So, Exquadra Tower has fulfilled the requirements of the LEED Green Building Rating System, certification established by the U.S. Green Building Council and verified by Green Business Certification, Inc.
All right, and they have indeed fulfilled all those requirements indeed. So again, Joni, congratulations to you and to the rest of the people behind Exquadra Tower. Congratulations. All right, everybody. You know what? If you're watching online, if you would like to show your happiness, and if you would like to congratulate Exquadra, please use the comment section on YouTube, or if you're watching over Zoom, please do utilize the chat box. Wow. So Denise and Paul, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for handing over the plaque to Ms. Joni Mitchell. Thank you, guys. All right. So, Joni, I have a few more questions to ask you. So maybe we can, have a seat once again. Guys, thank you again. Can we borrow the mic? All right. So, Joni, so we now know that Exquadra Tower is only the sixth building in the country that has attained the LEED Platinum certification, but it is the first in Pasig City. That was already mentioned. But Joni, apparently that is not just one of the firsts of the building. You know, everybody, a lot of the features of Exquadra Tower are the first of its kind, not just in Pasig City, but even in the country. So can you share
Even
with
in
us
the country.
these firsts?
Yeah, we've mentioned a few of them, but we didn't emphasize, the first. Our air conditioning system, for one, I mean, that is using magnetic levitation technology, which is the first in the Philippines. We're very proud of that because, as we've mentioned earlier, the owners always want to be innovative. So apart from that, we also did something different in terms of the fresh air exchange. Most of the time, it might be part and parcel of the air conditioning system. It might run on shared systems, but in our case, it's a whole separate system, and it's pre-cooled, which is that's the first in that type of fresh air exchange. It's pre-cooled. We're using dual filters, using MERV 8 and 13, which is not commonly done. And another first we've done is we give fresh water to our tenants.
Oh, that's a first too.
That's a first. We've not heard of any other building doing that, which is also cost savings for them.
Yeah.
It's in this time during these times, it's also another safety protocol for us to
And
reduce.
I'm sure we're not just talking about ordinary tap water. I'm
No,
sure it's properly filtered.
it's properly filtered. It's tested every month. The only thing that we ask from our tenants is that they tell us how many 5 gallons that they're using, so we understand the usage of the filter, so we can make sure that it's always optimally used, and we can check it and clean it regularly. And then we also have water testing as well. And we also share this with our tenants. Another first for us is the smart parcel. This is not usually a normal feature in most buildings, and it's something that we take pride in as well because we want to help our tenants make things convenient. And during times like this, it's also now another safety feature as well for their health. Another thing that we also did was, you ever notice how you have the guards going around with the mirrors underneath the cars?
Yeah.
You ever notice that it's maybe not that efficient?
Whenever I park here, yeah, you're right. I just noticed
Yes.
that right now.
We have a high-speed under chassis camera that actually records no matter how fast you pass it. And it's also has artificial intelligence if it sees something new. So that's a security feature for us as well. That's also a first. And another first for us is also our building is 5G ready, which is we're the first fully integrated office building to have it. So right now, before 5G becomes readily available to all buildings, we're currently running on 4G, but our system in place does not have to be upgraded anymore. It is 5G ready, and once we just have to be plugged in. So we're making sure that our building is future-proof. We're making sure that it is not obsolete in 5 to 10 years, and we take pride in that, and that's something the owners wanted to make sure with this project as well, that we're always pushing the envelope, making sure that it's future-proof. And in the time like this, we're proud to say that when the pandemic started to set in, we didn't have to do anything major. We were just able to change our cleaning protocols to be more keen on sanitation. We had the touchless features in our building that were already existing, from when you go from the turnstiles to the elevators. That continues all the way through to our bathrooms as well. I won't go into many details there. And so far, people who are working in the building are very safe. Our fresh air exchange makes that happen. And we're very fortunate. And the tenants that we have here right now, I know are very happy.
I'm sure they are. And as you had mentioned earlier, this is just the first of many more buildings to come from the owners of Exquadra Tower. I suppose it's the challenge here of the next buildings that they will build will be to maintain. You're already a platinum certified building, so I suppose the challenge is to keep that certification, that recognition for the next buildings.
We've set the bar high,
Yes,
but
you
we won't settle for that. We'll have to push it higher. We'll have to be more innovative, but that's what we do, and that's what the owners want, and we'll keep pushing it.
It's amazing how some buildings go from silver to gold to platinum, but you went straight away to platinum.
We were technically we were good at. I mean, we were pre-certified. Technically, we knew we had gold, but the objective was really to go for platinum. That was those were the walking orders. So
Okay.
as they would say, we gotta walk the talk. So we have to make sure that if this is what we're doing, we're gonna do it. It's always been the company's objective to be environmentally friendly. Indoor air quality is something of importance. It's apart from the external part. So it's always been something. Safety, health, and being innovative has always been important.
All right. So again, Joni, congratulations to you and to the rest of the people behind Exquadra Tower.
Thank you very
now
much.
everybody, because this is such a huge recognition, we have with us, actually not here right now, but there are some personalities that would like to show their support for Exquadra Tower being a LEED Platinum certified building. They wanted to show how happy they are. They wanted to congratulate Exquadra Tower. So first up, we received a video greeting representing the city of Pasig. We would now like to show you the video sent over by Vice Mayor Christian Bernardo. Let's take a look.
Good morning. This is Vice Mayor Yokaruncha Bernardo of Pasig City. I just want to congratulate Exquadra Tower here in Barangay San Antonio, Pasig City for being a LEED Platinum certified building. Again, to all of its members, to all of its owners, to Uni Oil, congratulations and more power to your company. Thank you.
Over that message. Now everybody, as we had mentioned earlier, this is not just a big thing for the city of Pasig, but because we have less than 10 platinum certified buildings, this is just the 6th, we can say that this recognition is also shared as something that the country can be proud of. So next up, we would like to show you the message sent over by none other than the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. Let's now listen to the message of Madam Vice President Leni Robredo.
Congratulations sa inyong lahat as you celebrate this remarkable achievement. Exquadra Tower is now the country's 6th LEED Platinum certified building and the first in Pasig City. Kailangan na kailangan ng mga espasyong tulad nito ngayon. Nabubuhay tayo sa panahon kung saan may direct impact sa kalikasan ang lahat ng ginagawa natin bilang mga consumer at bilang tao. The way we live affects our communities, our country, and the entire world. Malinaw that we are active agents that can change the fate of all living things, even those that will come into being beyond our lifetimes. Dahil dito, meron tayong responsibilidad because our actions have grown in scale, power, and scope. Tungkulin natin gumawa ng mga polisiya at mga practices na sustainable. What you've done here today is a remarkable step that embodies this mindset. Mahalagang hakbang ito sa sabay-sabay nating pagtugon sa mas malalaki pang hamon na hinaharap ng kalikasan. Kaya today and beyond the celebration, tuloy lang sa pagsasadiwa ng inyong prinsipyo. The times call not only for individual action, but a larger, more strategic effort to move away from fossil fuel dependence and extractive practices. Harmonize your efforts, dream, plan, and move towards bigger goals dahil napakarami pa nating pwede at dapat gawin. Mula sa pag-promote ng community-based solutions o di kaya sa paggamit pa ng mga bagong teknolohiya tungo sa mas sustainable na pamumuhay. Tiwala akong simula pa lang ito para sa inyo towards our collective task of creating a larger, more strategic, more intensified push for a more climate-forward agenda. As you go even deeper in this mission, I have the utmost confidence na maaabot natin ang better normal na minimithi natin. Mula sa aming lahat sa Office of the Vice President, congratulations muli. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Vice President Lenny Robredo. Clearly, preserving the environment is one of her thrusts and one of her priorities. So again, thank you, VP Lenny. All right, everybody. So with that, we are nearing the end of our program for this morning. But before we end, we would like to call back Joni Mitchell for her closing message for all of the people who joined us, who spent time to join us online. Joni?
Well, actually, we're actually open for any questions and answers. If anyone would like to post anything.
Oh, yeah.
I know you have questions for me.
Yeah,
You always have questions
I
for me.
think we have some of the members of the media online right now.
Yes.
So everybody, even those who aren't part of the media, if you're curious to know a little bit more about Exquadra Tower, if you're curious to know a little bit more about LEED, please just send over your questions. Type them in the comments section on YouTube. Type them in the chat box on Zoom. And we will, as much as we can, we will try to answer your questions, if any. So please, if you have questions, type them now. I'm sure you're curious to know a little bit more. So while we're waiting for those questions, so Joni, I think we wanted to show photos of some of the offices, no? Some of the offices of the tenants, but I don't think we will be able to do that. But can you share with us, maybe not the tenants, I'm sure for privacy purposes, but can you share with us their feedback? I'm sure they give you feedback about how happy they are with their office space.
Well, the one thing that's been nice is that, what we promise has been delivered. They're really experiencing the different things, in terms of, they've been very happy with their air conditioning system, but especially, and next would be our fresh air. They've been very happy with that because it works. I would have to say, when it comes to our fresh air exchange, our tenants are happy because if you and I had units next to each other, and I sprayed a lot of perfume in my unit. Okay, I was talking to you about this earlier. You will not smell the fragrance in your
Even
unit.
if we're right next to each
Even
other.
if we're right next to it, so there's no cross.
Even if it's the strongest perfume in the world.
Unless it seeps through the hallway, that might be a case. But what
But
we're
it won't go up the ventilation system.
no, we don't cross-contaminate between units, and I think that's something our tenants have been very pleased about, and that's we take pride in that. In terms of other things, I mean, they love the fact that we offer free water. I know I can't stop talking about that, but yes, the moment you talk to, let's say, the HR person or the person who's in charge of operations, they're like, "What, you offer free water?" I said, "Yes, we do." So these are things they've been very appreciative. Having 5G, so mobile data is never compromised within the building either. They're very happy about that as well. So we have a
There's
question.
a question here from Ines Tambunting. Joni, why do you love LEED buildings? Hello, Ines.
Yeah, Ines, hi, thank you for that. Why do I love LEED buildings? I can talk about green buildings until the cows come home, to be honest, but I will say this much. It's the only way to go, okay? And the reason for that is green buildings conserve energy, being electricity, especially in our country where electricity is very high in cost, right? We're one of the highest in Asia. Another reason why I like green building is it reduces the carbon footprint. And in green buildings as well, it's a healthier environment to work in. I mean, for me, a green building translates, people are more productive because you have more natural light coming into the space. You have fresher air. Me personally, I like working in green buildings because I don't worry about sick building syndromes. That's a big thing for me. Like to advocate even for older buildings, get retrofitted. Try to go for retrofitted LEED certification. Because what are we going to leave our children? We need to leave a good planet. And people deserve to work. We spend a lot of time in our office. I mean, half of our day, just about, is in the office or traveling, a combination. So green building is the way to go. I mean,
Yes, it is.
Dean can talk about it. They talked about it, and Mr. Gopal talked about it as well. But me, everyone knows who knows me knows I'm a big advocate for green buildings.
All right, there's another question. How much do your tenants save on electricity and water, given that the drinking water is free, and given that your air conditioning system is state of the art? You use chilled water. How much do people save? Your tenants, how much do your tenants save on electricity and water?
That is a little bit of a trick question. We have given everything, provided the features of the building that will allow the tenants to save. So, it's also up to them to use energy saving lighting. So in some cases, you can use motion sensors, you can use luminous sensors. We can, that they also have to play their part as well.
But in terms of air conditioning, let's isolate the bill that people build every month on electricity. I'm sure they save a lot, given your air conditioning system and free water as well.
I don't want to get into specifics on numbers, but I would have to say we're more energy efficient than the typical VRL controlled air conditioning, and a lot cheaper at that most. For a standalone building, I would have to say our rates are very competitive. People have been surprised. It's very hard to be very specific on the numbers because it also depends on their running hours. So, if they're doing 9 to 5, 5 days a week, or they're doing 12 hours a day, we need to but we've found out that it's very competitive, and people have been nicely surprised by those numbers.
That's amazing. And I also know that you're very, I don't know if I should mention it, but you can be very flexible, and that's something that potential tenants would be interested in.
Our flexibility comes about understanding the tenant's needs. So if we can find a solution, we will do it. And we've won over a few tenants being creative and innovative at the same time. At the same time, looking at how does this affect the other tenants in the building. So we're very solution driven. So that's why we've done well.
All right, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so if there are no more questions,
I don't know if there's any questions. None.
Yeah, if there are no more questions.
But we are open to take questions via email. Please, you can contact us at leasing@exquadratower.com, or for those who know me or those who are in contact with our PR, you can send your questions in directly. So please do so.
All right, so Joni, I think we're now ready for your closing message.
Yes.
All right, so Joni, the screen is all yours.
We would like to thank all our project team who's been with us along the way as well. We couldn't have done this without you. So on behalf of the owners, thank you. I believe Jana has a little bit of a slide. We want to say thank you to the contractors, the architects, the consultants, all of our suppliers, because honestly, without them, it would have been the possibility of getting this done right might have not have been as good. So we thank you, and thank you for choosing us as we chose you. And for those of you watching, if you're looking for the right building, and the beauty of our building is we're in the heart of Metro Manila, and I think Ortigas is an up-and-coming area. Now they've got newer buildings, especially the first LEED Platinum certified building of Pasig, and we're very proud of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joni, and again, thank you very much for having us over. It is indeed a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to be a part of this very special day.
Thank you for being with us here today, and thank everyone who's been watching as well.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen and friends, this is where our short program ends. But before we end, we hope that our program today somehow inspires you and inspires the developers and the builders who are watching right now to come up with a green building. A building that is environment friendly, a building that is world class, and a building that is safe and self-sustaining. No, not self-sustaining, but sustainable for its tenants and for the people who will be entering the building. A safe building. So again, everybody, this is Ato Mungson, and on behalf of the rest of our team and on behalf of Exquadra Tower Incorporated, good afternoon. Please do enjoy the rest of the day.